Well, good morning or good afternoon, and welcome back to On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Greene, the Director of Network Growth for Avoya Travel. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know a lot's going on, especially with the holidays starting to creep up and everybody just trying to figure out what's going on. So thank you so much for making time for On Deck with Avoya. If you're brand new, if this is the first time that you found our feature, I want to let you know that the previous two episodes of On Deck with Avoya are archived here on the Avoya Travel Facebook page for future use. So you just have to look for the video section and you can check that out. The purpose for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update, is really pretty simple. It's just another opportunity, another avenue for us to hopefully engage, share some thoughts on the state of the industry, share some thoughts and valuable information on Avoya Travel and its amazing 50-plus year history as a family-owned business in the travel industry, and feature some of our elite resources for independently owned travel agencies that are part of the Avoya Travel Network. So let's go ahead and get started with this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya with our industry insights and our eye on the industry news. And the big news this week has to be the news of the Pfizer vaccine, right? I mean, just talk about amazing news. So it broke on Sunday, and then it was really felt on Monday, especially in Wall Street. But Pfizer Pharmaceutical announced over the weekend that their COVID-19 vaccine, the trials, they're in final clinical trials, has seen a 90% success rate. And that just had the whole world pretty much, cheering and clapping because of that. Lots of enthusiasm for any of the sectors that have really been impacted by this COVID-19 crisis, and certainly the cruise industry and the travel industry in general. Dow Jones Industrial, Wall Street on Monday raced over 1,200 points ahead. All of the three big cruise stocks were up significantly, day over day. Carnival saw an increase over 30%. Royal Caribbean was up over 25%. Norwegian was up over 15%. And even though a little bit later in the week, as we've gone on, there's been a little bit of profit taking. I checked earlier today, and as of like noon Eastern time today, all three of those major cruise stocks were still up significantly in a week over week environment. So I think that's pretty great news too. Other news came from the Caribbean and the Radisson Corporation, and they had a brand new grand opening, which again, in this environment, I think is fantastic in Dominican Republic in the beautiful resort area of Punta Cana. They opened up a brand new Radisson Blue, and it's part of a major expansion that Radisson's got going on in the Caribbean. Not only that resort opening in Punta Cana, but next year a Radisson Blue is going to open up in Aruba, and the year after that, a brand new Radisson Blue opening up in Grenada. So increased potential capacity in the Caribbean. If you sell land, if you sell resorts, that has got to be big news. And of course, Avoya Travel has all of the relationships in place for somebody that does have a significant land clientele. Reach out. Again, we're more than happy to have that conversation. We can schedule a demo. We can just provide as many resources as we can as you're looking to make that decision. And then the third piece of big news is one that's kind of a little bit of mixed results, and it's a very fluid situation. It's going on right now, and it involves the Sea Dreams Corporation and their Sea Dreams yacht, Sea Dreams 1. They had a very successful return to service this summer in Europe, right? No problems whatsoever, no positive cases. This was the first week of their Caribbean season. They are not sailing at all in U.S. waters. This is not impacted by the CDC's no sail and then conditional sail order. They have less than 250 passengers on board. So they did have their first sailing start out of Barbados this week with like 56 passengers on board, including some members of the press, about 66 crew. Things seem to be going pretty well, but then we started getting word yesterday of just one positive case, one person not feeling well, a positive case. But as we know, sometimes these positive cases, until we get that confirmation, you're just not sure. But they did sequester everybody back to their rooms yesterday as they headed back to Barbados. So people still in their rooms as of, again, about noon Eastern time today. And it's a very fluid situation, starting to get picked up by the Main Street press. Richard Fain, the CEO of the Royal Caribbean Group, said today that, listen, you're not going to be able to eliminate the disease from society. What's important is to have the protocols in place to be able to manage things. So there's a couple of great cruise bloggers that I follow, and there's one, Cruise with Ben and David, and they happen to be on board, and they tweeted out, right? tweeting. That's the way we communicate these days. They tweeted out that they were really impressed with Sea Dreams and their swift action. So still some positive coming out of that, but let's hope the mainstream press just doesn't dogpile on the whole industry again. I don't think any of us could really use that. So that's a little bit about what's going on, but you might wonder, why does it matter for your business? Well, let's face it, the vaccine news is a no-brainer, right? The sooner we have an effective vaccine that's proven safe, combined with effective therapeuticals, in my personal opinion, it is game on then, because there is pent-up demand. There's no doubt about it. Every time I go anywhere, whether it's friends I talk with or family I talk to, or just people out in the community, and I ask, because this is my industry, what are your thoughts on travel? How excited are you to get back out on the road? And you know what? There's such a pent-up demand. There's no doubt in my mind about that. As soon as the science catches up with that demand, we're really going to see one of the brightest times in our industry. So what that means now is the smart money is going to be preparing. Every single relationship that you have should be fair game at this point, to be examined under the microscope. Because I promise you, your important relationships are re-examining things from their end. So it's certainly fair for you to, like I said, rip it down to the studs, take a look at everything and see, as you rebuild your business, if the relationships that you have in place are going to provide the right kind of foundation for you to build the business at the level of success that you want. Those in the Avoya Travel Network are very fortunate that they have a full suite of best-in-class, industry-leading resources like technology and marketing and professional development and back office. And yes, they are elite. And again, we're more than happy to have a conversation with you, explain those in detail, and see again if we might be able to create a shared success relationship. So moving ahead now to our Authentically Avoya segment, and this week it's all about credibility, credibility, credibility. There's only one travel consortium that offers the kind of name brand awareness that's part of a globally recognized, trusted brand, and that is American Express. It's iconic, and clients are very proud of that American Express status that they've earned and the privilege that it brings them, right? All you have to do is like get on the computer and Google, bring up Google and Google things like, what's the #1 credit card that rich people use? American Express. What's the #1 credit card that celebrities use? American Express, right? You remember that old tagline from the 70s and 80s, don't leave home without it? Well, that concept still resonates with the traveling public. And again, Avoya Travel, proud to have been part of the American Express Travel Network for over 30 years, awarded Amex Rep of the Year for 19 consecutive years. As I said, instant credibility for your agency, and exclusive American Express promotions and card member only benefits for your clients. And in some cases, you can double dip, right? If you're a member of the Avoya Travel Network, because we have our Avoya exclusives, the promotions that only the members of our network have access to. But in some cases, they can double dip and combine those two promotions. And you talk about a win-win. And again, my team would be more than happy to go over that information with you. Moving ahead to some of our smart solutions and traveling closer to home. Let's face it, right? The whole pandemic, the whole COVID-19 crisis, still a very fluid crisis. Every day we still see it in the news, record cases, hospitalizations increasing, and yet it doesn't seem to damper, as I was saying earlier, that enthusiasm by people to want to get back out there and travel. They want to see something. That need for an adventure is just built into our DNA, and thankfully, we're very fortunate that we live in a country that is so diverse and just naturally so beautiful, right? So one of the ways that Avoya Travel, when all of international travel and cruising was coming to a halt back in March of this year, one of the things that we did to pivot was to a closer to home initiatives, increased marketing to pivot towards travel closer to home, whether or not that was hotels or people looking for big destinations like possibly Las Vegas or Orlando, or maybe they still wanted that resort experience through the great brand at Club Med, Sandpiper Bay in Florida, one of the only all-inclusive resorts in the United States. Just the amazing national parks that the United States has. New products displayed on our consumer-facing website of avoyatravel.com, new opportunities for growth with new specialties available for independent agencies that were in the Avoya Travel Network, new collateral marketing opportunities, co-branded to be able to get that information in front of your clients and really resonate, driving domestic travel bookings. And I tell you, a lot of our affiliates are very appreciative of that, because those travel closer to home bookings were the only bookings that really paid solid commissions throughout this summer. And they really needed that, right? I mean, what an amazing year and a sad year in the whole travel business. So travel closer to home is going to be an initiative that I think a lot of people are still going to be focused on as we go through 2021. And so if you're not part of a network that gives you those resources, that makes that possible, that allows you to put collateral material in front of your client base that resonates and really moves the meter, again, please reach out to us. We just want to have a conversation and just see, again, if we can't create a shared success relationship together. And finally, the big tease for next week. We're going to be back next week on Thursday at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 a.m. Pacific time, but we have a huge announcement, an exclusive announcement all about your ability to affiliate your business with the Avoya Travel Network. So please make sure you join us for that. And again, thank you so much for joining us this week. We really appreciate your time, and we hope that you find this to be a valuable resource. Again, we're just trying to create that spark. We just want to have a professional one-on-one conversation and see if what we offer resonates. If the values that Avoya Travel has, if our best practice, if that resonates with you as a business owner. And if it does, maybe, just like we're famous for at Avoya Travel, together we can create this shared success relationship. So again, thank you so much for your time. My contact information is right there, chris.greene@avoyatravel.com. There's my phone number. AvoyaNetwork.com is our website. You can request information. My team will be more than happy to schedule that conversation, that demonstration of our technology. And again, we're going to be back next Thursday at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 a.m. Pacific with that huge announcement about your ability to affiliate with the Avoya Travel Network. And until then, have a great week. And thank you, everybody. Take care.